Dating advice. Find your soulmate and avoid red flags. Are you secretly wondering if you'll ever find someone who truly gets you? Someone who doesn't just love the surface version of yourself, but actually understands your deepest thoughts and dreams? If you've been dating for a while and feel like you keep attracting the wrong people, or if you're in a relationship but questioning whether this person is really your life partner, then this video is exactly what you need to watch. I'm going to share with you the exact framework that successful couples use to find and choose their life partners. This isn't just about dating tips or relationship advice. This is about understanding the psychology behind lasting love and how to use your conscious and subconscious mind to attract the right person into your life. Before we go any further, make sure you hit that subscribe button because I share content like this every week to help you build the life and relationships you deserve. And if this video helps you in any way, please share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Let me start by asking you something. Have you ever noticed that some people seem to effortlessly find their soulmate while others struggle for years? The difference isn't luck. It's not about being more attractive or having better social skills. The real difference is that some people understand the invisible forces that create lasting attraction and compatibility. Most people approach dating completely backwards. They focus on external factors like looks, job, or social status. But these surface-level attractions fade quickly. The couples who stay together for decades understand something deeper. They know that true compatibility happens at the level of values, emotional intelligence, and life vision. Think about it this way. Your subconscious mind is constantly scanning for patterns. It's looking for someone who feels familiar, someone who matches your internal blueprint for love. But here's the problem. If you grew up in a household where love was conditional, or where communication was poor, your subconscious might be programmed to attract partners who recreate those same unhealthy patterns. This is why so many people find themselves in relationships that feel familiar, but aren't actually good for them. They're not choosing partners based on conscious compatibility. They're being pulled by subconscious programming that they don't even realize exists. The good news is that once you understand how this works, you can reprogram your attraction patterns. You can train your mind to recognize and attract healthy relationships instead of familiar dysfunction. Let me share the framework that changes everything. I call it the 4 pillars of conscious partner selection. These are the 4 areas you need to evaluate in any potential life partner, and more importantly, the 4 areas you need to develop within yourself first. The first pillar is emotional intelligence. This is your ability to understand and manage your own emotions and to empathize with others. Someone with high emotional intelligence doesn't just feel their emotions, they understand why they're feeling them and they can communicate about them effectively. Here's what emotional intelligence looks like in a potential partner. When you disagree about something, they don't shut down or get defensive. Instead, they can stay present and work through the issue with you. They can say things like, "I'm feeling frustrated right now, and I need a few minutes to think about what you said," instead of storming out or giving you the silent treatment. They also demonstrate empathy. When you're having a hard day, they don't try to fix you or minimize your feelings. They can sit with you in your emotions and make you feel heard and understood. This is crucial because life is going to throw challenges at you as a couple. You need someone who can be your emotional teammate, not someone who becomes another source of stress. But here's the thing about emotional intelligence. You can't expect it from someone else if you don't have it yourself. This is why personal growth is so important before you choose a life partner. You need to understand your own emotional patterns first. Ask yourself these questions. When you're upset, do you shut down or do you communicate? When your partner is struggling, do you try to fix them or do you just listen? Can you take responsibility for your mistakes without getting defensive? These are the skills of emotional intelligence, and they're skills you can develop. The second pillar is aligned values. This goes way deeper than just sharing the same hobbies or interests. I'm talking about core values. Things like how you view money, how you want to raise children, what role spirituality plays in your life, and how you prioritize family versus career. Many people think they can work through value differences, but research shows that couples with aligned values are significantly more likely to stay together long term. This doesn't mean you have to agree on everything. It means you need to be compatible on the big things that will shape your life together. Here's a practical exercise. Write down your top 5 values. Things like honesty, adventure, family, financial security, creativity, or service to others. Then think about the person you're dating or considering dating. Do their actions align with these same values? Not just their words, but their actual behavior. Someone might say they value honesty, but if they're constantly making small lies or hiding things from you, their actions don't match their stated values. Someone might say they want a family, but if they're not willing to prioritize relationship time or work on their own emotional health, they're not actually prepared for the commitment that family requires. The third pillar is communication skills. This is about so much more than just talking. It's about the ability to have difficult conversations, to express needs clearly, and to resolve conflicts in a healthy way. Pay attention to how someone communicates when they're stressed or upset. Do they become critical or blame you for their feelings? Do they use words like "you always" or "you never"? These are red flags that indicate poor communication skills. Healthy communication looks like using I statements instead of you statements. It looks like taking breaks when emotions get too high instead of trying to resolve everything in the heat of the moment. It looks like being able to apologize sincerely when you've made a mistake. One of the biggest red flags in communication is when someone refuses to take responsibility for their part in conflicts. If someone is constantly making you feel like everything is your fault, or if they can never admit when they're wrong, this is a major warning sign. Healthy relationships require two people who can both acknowledge their mistakes and work together to find solutions. The fourth pillar is life vision alignment. This is about making sure you're both heading in the same general direction in life. You don't need identical dreams, but you need compatible dreams. Think about where you want to be in 5 or 10 years. Do you want to live in the same type of place? Do you have similar goals around career and family? Are you both committed to personal growth? Or is one of you content to stay exactly where you are? This is where many relationships fail. Two people fall in love, but they never discuss their long-term visions for life. Then 5 years later, they realize they want completely different things. One person wants to travel the world, the other wants to buy a house and settle down. One person wants children, the other is focused on career advancement. These conversations need to happen early in the relationship. Not on the first date, but definitely before you get too emotionally invested. You need to know if you're building toward the same future. Now, let's talk about red flags. These are the warning signs that tell you someone is not ready to be a life partner, regardless of how much you might care about them. The first major red flag is emotional unavailability. This person might be physically present, but they're not emotionally present. They have trouble opening up. They avoid deep conversations, and they keep you at arm's length emotionally. Sometimes this shows up as being overly focused on work or hobbies to avoid intimacy. Emotional unavailability often stems from past trauma or fear of vulnerability. While you can have compassion for someone's struggles, you can't fix them. They need to do their own healing work before they're ready for a committed relationship. Another major red flag is inconsistency. This person says one thing but does another. They make plans but cancel last minute. They tell you they're serious about the relationship, but their actions don't match their words. Inconsistency creates anxiety and instability, which are toxic to healthy relationships. Control issues are another huge red flag. This might start subtly. They might make comments about your friends or trying to influence how you spend your time. They might get jealous or possessive when you have other interests or relationships. Healthy love is supportive and encouraging. It doesn't try to control or limit you. Lack of personal responsibility is also a major warning sign. This person blames others for their problems, makes excuses for their behavior, and never takes ownership of their mistakes. They might blame their ex for their trust issues, their parents for their financial problems, or their boss for their career struggles. While external factors certainly influence our lives, emotionally mature people take responsibility for their responses and their healing. If you're watching this and thinking about someone in your life who shows these red flags, I want you to pause and really consider what you're doing. It's easy to make excuses for someone when you care about them. You might think you can love them enough to change them, or that they'll grow out of these patterns. But the truth is, people only change when they want to change, and they have to do the work themselves. Your job is not to fix someone else. Your job is to choose someone who is already doing their own work to become the best version of themselves. So, how do you actually find this person? How do you meet someone who has these 4 pillars of emotional intelligence, aligned values, good communication skills, and compatible life vision? First, you have to become the person you want to attract. This is the law of attraction in action. Like attracts like. If you want someone emotionally intelligent, you need to develop your own emotional intelligence. If you want someone with clear values, you need to get clear on your own values first. This is why personal growth is so important. The more you understand yourself, the better you become at recognizing what you need in a partner. The more you heal your own emotional wounds, the less likely you are to be attracted to people who will recreate those wounds. Second, you need to be intentional about where and how you meet people. If you want someone who values personal growth, you're more likely to find them at a workshop or seminar than at a bar. If you want someone who shares your spiritual values, you might find them at a meditation group or spiritual community. Think about the qualities you want in a partner. Then think about where someone with those qualities would spend their time. Join those communities. Engage in those activities. Not just to meet someone, but because you genuinely enjoy them yourself. Third, you need to slow down the dating process. I know our culture pushes us to move fast, but lasting relationships are built slowly. Take time to really get to know someone before you get physically or emotionally involved. Pay attention to how they treat service workers, how they talk about their ex-partners, how they handle stress, and how they resolve conflicts. One of the best ways to evaluate someone's character is to watch how they behave when things don't go their way. Do they get angry at traffic? Do they blame others when plans change? Do they handle disappointment with grace? These small moments reveal a lot about someone's emotional maturity. Also, pay attention to how they make you feel about yourself. Do you feel more confident and happy when you're with them? Do they encourage your dreams and support your growth? Or do you find yourself feeling insecure, anxious, or like you need to change yourself to please them? The right person will make you feel like the best version of yourself. They won't try to change you or fix you. They'll love you as you are, while also supporting your growth and evolution. Let me share something that might surprise you. The best relationships aren't built on passion alone. They're built on friendship, respect, and shared values. The couples who stay together for decades often say that they married their best friend. They genuinely like each other, not just love each other. This doesn't mean there shouldn't be attraction or chemistry, but it means that the foundation of your relationship should be deeper than just physical or emotional attraction. You should actually enjoy spending time with this person. You should be able to have fun together, laugh together, and support each other through life's challenges. Here's another important point. You can't choose someone based on their potential. You have to choose them based on who they are right now. It's easy to fall in love with someone's potential, especially if you're someone who likes to help others grow. But you can't build a relationship on who someone might become. You have to love and accept them as they are today. This doesn't mean people can't change or grow. It means that any change has to come from their own motivation, not from your influence or expectations. If there are things about someone that you can't accept as they are, then they're not the right person for you right now. I also want to address something that many people struggle with, especially women. The fear of being too picky or having standards that are too high. Let me be clear about this. Having standards isn't about being picky. It's about knowing your worth and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. You deserve someone who treats you with respect, who communicates well, who shares your values, and who is genuinely excited to build a life with you. You deserve someone who sees your worth and cherishes what you bring to the relationship. Don't let anyone convince you that these standards are too high. The right person won't see your standards as demanding. They'll appreciate that you know what you want, and they'll be grateful that you've chosen them. They'll want to rise to meet your standards because they value what you're offering in return. Remember, you're not just choosing someone to date. You're potentially choosing someone to share your life with, to raise children with, to handle finances with. to support you through illness and loss, and to grow old with. This is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. It deserves careful consideration and high standards. If you're currently in a relationship and watching this video, use this framework to evaluate your current situation. Does your partner demonstrate the 4 pillars? Are there red flags that you've been ignoring? Are you both growing in the same direction? If you realize that your current relationship doesn't meet these standards, you have some difficult decisions to make. You can try to work on things together, but both people have to be willing to grow and change. If only one person is doing the work, the relationship won't improve. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is to let go of a relationship that isn't serving either of you. This takes courage, but staying in the wrong relationship prevents both of you from finding the right one. If you're single and looking for your life partner, remember that this process takes time. Don't rush it. Focus on becoming the best version of yourself while you're searching. Use this time to heal old wounds, clarify your values, and develop the skills you need for a healthy relationship. The right person is out there, but they might not show up until you're ready for them. Sometimes we have to go through the wrong relationships to learn what we really want in the right one. Every experience teaches us something about ourselves and about love. Trust the process. Trust that as you become more conscious about your choices, you'll attract someone who is also making conscious choices. Trust that as you heal and grow, you'll be able to recognize and appreciate healthy love when it shows up. Your future self will thank you for taking the time to choose wisely. A conscious, healthy relationship is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself and your future family. It's worth waiting for, and it's worth working toward. If this video helped you gain clarity about relationships and choosing a life partner, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I share content like this every week to help you build the life and relationships you deserve. Remember, you have the power to choose your life partner consciously. You have the power to break old patterns and create the love you've always wanted. It starts with understanding yourself and knowing what you truly need in a relationship. From there, it's about having the courage to hold your standards and wait for someone who molds them. The right person is worth waiting for. Don't settle for less than you deserve.